What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the No Name RC Podcast, RC News Vlog. That is a lot to say in one sentence. Vlogging. I've been interested in a while of doing some vlogging, and I finally stepped up, and I'm going to attempt it. So, maybe not the best quality my first time out, but please enjoy it. So I decided to do a little vlog. Maybe I'll do it weekly about current things going on in RC, race results, products, nothing special, maybe 10, 15 minutes a week. So here's my first one. And if you guys know who I am, I'm Keenan White, a.k.a. Lefty The Great, of the No Name RC Podcast. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out as well. It's on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, you name it, all podcasts. Hosts, it's there, as well as check out our website, the NNRCpodcast.com. We also have some cool shirts and hats and decals for sale if you want to support even further. Before I go on, I just want to shout out and say thank you to all of the No Name RC Podcast squad from around the world. You guys, your support is greatly appreciated, and thank you to all of our patrons and, of course, all of our sponsors. So, I guess we'll just start with the big topic around the world or in RC at the moment as well. The big topic is, of course, the COVID-19 virus or coronavirus. It has affected life around the world, and it does affect RC, unfortunately. So first off, I want to say a big shout out and send some positive vibes to all of our RC friends and non-RC friends in Europe, mainly Italy. They've completely locked down now for over 2 weeks, I believe. Spain just locked itself down, France, and whatever other countries have locked themselves down. To our RC friends there, positive vibes. It's going to get better. Stay safe, stay clean, and stay occupied. So, how has COVID-19 affected RC? Well, it started, I believe I first noticed this was last week, Monday, when I noticed that the EOS round in Slovakia, which was going to be held at the X-Ray Hudi Arena, was canceled. And this was a big thing because the EOS race is pretty big. I believe this is the first round of 2020. So basically, Slovakia's government said they can't have groups of 25 people or more, I believe. So they had to cancel this big race, which draws people from all over Europe and even internationally to come race. So they didn't get a chance to race this race. Second, I saw that the Donuts Cup in France, which is supposed to be this weekend as well. I believe it's a series race. It's held by our JQ Racing distributor in France, Donuts RC. Jerome Chambon, I believe they had to stop that race this week because France is now on lockdown. Then I noticed that it brought to my attention that the Nova Rossi factory in Italy shut down for 2 weeks. Then I saw that the warm-up race in Germany has been canceled. Then what really kind of hit home was that the Philippine Masters, which takes place it's not in Europe, but it's in Philippines, which takes place in the second week of April, I believe. It was the first round of the RCGP race series last year. They've canceled that race, and that had a big number of international and top drivers attending. So the COVID-19 virus has stopped RC in Europe and other places around the world. With that being said, I don't know if it's going to affect races in America. I now see that different states in America are now kind of closing up and locking down, and I was just reading that groups of 50 are advised not to, it's advised not to attend in groups of 50. I myself have a plane ticket for the Psycho Nitro Blast, which is the first weekend of April. I'm not sure if I'm going now because I basically don't want to get stuck in America or not be able to come back to my home and my family. So we'll see. I'm just playing it by ear right now to see how things go, but I think eventually some of these races will be canceled or postponed. I don't know. I am not a doctor. I am not in charge of these races. I am not a state official. I can just go by what I see, the following trends of what's going on in Europe. So unfortunately, this is affecting RC. And we know we love RC. We want to race and have fun and get together with our friends. So it sucks. But this is how things go sometimes. So, with that being said, to everybody, just please be safe and be clean. Don't overreact either. Just this is something that we'll get over. You know, as people, as a human race, we'll get over this. I'm pretty sure of that. So, that didn't mean there was no racing this weekend. But we'll get into that. First, I would like to go over some products that caught my eye this weekend or this past week in the news. First up is the AKA Scribble 8 scale tire. Now, the Scribble was released for 10 scale, I believe at the end of the year, maybe beginning of this year. But now they have it in the 8 scale for the 8 scale world. So, AKA boasting that this has superior wear characteristics compared to other bar style tires. A new carcass design which spreads even wear over the whole width of the tire. And it's not just for indoor clay, but also for hard pack, low dust outdoor tracks. But right now, they're only releasing the clay compound. More compounds will follow. So this is pretty interesting. AKA has brought out another bar tire called the Scribble. It was pretty successful. It's doing pretty good in the 10 scale world. So now it's in the 8 scale world. So good stuff, AKA. We look forward to getting more compounds and more reports from people that are running these tires. JConcepts has released the F2i wing, I believe it's I, and divider. It's IFMAR legal. It has a built-in gurney, lightweight by design, and was used and tested by Dakota Fenn, Seth Van Dalen, and Ryan Mayfield at the DNC, Dirt Nitro Challenge 2020. So we have a new wing from JConcepts. It's not a Lexan wing. It's a typical nylon wing. I haven't seen any up-close pictures of it or one in person, but it looks pretty good. I believe you can make some adjustments on it. So once I see one or I'm able to actually have one in my hands, I could talk about it a little bit more or see a video. I'm sure JConcepts will release a video. They're pretty good with all that stuff. So we'll be looking forward to what other new wing or new bits and bobs or that they come out with. So this isn't about every little product that we see. We have plenty of websites where you can see that. Just some products that I think catch my eye for the 8 scale world. So there was no racing, not much racing in Europe this weekend, but there was a lot of racing in the USA this weekend. We had quite a number of big races. I would say medium races, not big races, not DNC size, not PMB, but some good races, I would say, with some good entrants and participants. And I'm just going to go over them really quick. I think the first one I'm going to go over and the biggest this weekend was the Holiday Hangover, which takes place in Moses Lake, Washington. Now, the Pacific Northwest, as you've heard me talk on the podcast, is a really big hotbed of RC activity. They have a really great series going up there, and it's people from all of the surrounding states, as well as Canada, that come to attend these races. The Holiday Hangover is held in a horse stable, like most RC races that are held indoors because it is cold and it's not very good weather at this time. It's winter. I actually have been to this facility. I went up there to see some friends, some guys that were running JQ 2 years ago. So I've witnessed this race. I haven't stayed and done the whole race, but I know where it happens. So we had 126 people with 271 entries, I believe, or 76, spread over 13 different classes. Now, Joe Bornhorst of Techno RC, and of course Adam Drake of Mugen Seike, however you want to say it, made the trip to this race. I think they've been before, and it was the Joe Bornhorst show. He dominated E-Buggy, Truggy, and Nitro Buggy. Drake was second in Nitro Buggy and E-Buggy. One thing I want to say about this race that I really enjoyed is that they had 2 spec tire classes. They had a spec tire Nitro class and a spec tire E-Buggy class. So it's good to see more spec tires races, or just a class, which I think makes for a great class and makes it fun for everybody. So kudos to the Holiday Hangover. Just some quick results here. It looks like Nitro Buggy was Joe Bornhorst, Drake, Adam Drake, and Marcus Avancino, Pacific Northwest. Native, I believe. E-Buggy was Joe Bornhorst, Adam Drake, Taylor Wonders. Truggy was Joe Bornhorst, Cody Grams, and Joseph Johnson. So congratulations to all those guys. It was a great weekend for Joe Bornhorst and Techno RC. That's just the beginning for Techno RC. Next up is the TSOC race. Now, this is probably my favorite series race that I've heard of in a long time. I believe it started last year. Now it's 3 states actually. It's Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina, but it started with just 2 states. It's put on by Brandon Melton of the team associated manager for that region. And this race is one class. There's no open, there's no sportsman in Nitro Buggy, Truggy, and E-Buggy. And it's done IFMAR style. You get 2 10-minute qualifiers each round. Even in E-Buggies, they got 10-minute qualifiers. Truggy got 10-minute qualifiers. Let's go over the numbers. It had 73 participants with 111 entries spread over 6 classes. Like I said, runtime, bang for your buck. 1-day race, you got to practice the Friday before, you got to practice Saturday morning. They pulled this race off. If you ran one class, Nitro Buggy, you got 20 minutes of qualifying and a 15-minute final. Now, if you bumped, you got another 15 minutes. I believe they went to the quarterfinals because it's ladder style like IFMAR. So if you bumped, you got another 15 minutes. If you made the final, you got 30 minutes. So some people in 1 day of racing got 65 minutes. If they made their semis and they made the final, they got 65 minutes of runtime. That's pretty good. So kudos to the TSOC race. I'm really pumped about this. I like the format. It seems everybody's enjoying it. And it was held at the Badlands in Myrtle Beach. Now, I've been to this track quite often. I've been to Fall Brawl 3 years in a row. And it's a great track run in a public park. Beach RC is a big sponsor and supporter of this track because they are based in Myrtle Beach. So congratulations to the Badlands crew and congratulations to the TSOC organization. So in Nitro Buggy, we had Jason Smith, Donnie Ward Jr., and DJ Hepler running off the top 3. E-Buggy, we had Ken Rand, Andrew Poole, and DJ Hepler. And in Truck, we had Nick Johnson, Jake Steichleather, and Logan Kowick. All of these are North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia region racers. It's a hotbed of racing. The Southeast is just split up into so many different hotbeds of racing, but this is a big hotbed of racing. Congratulations. I really enjoyed the TSOC series. I hope to actually race this one day. So congratulations. I think it's great, and I'm super pumped about it. Hobbyplex. Now, the Techno Winter Series, this was their last race this weekend. I've become very familiar with this series because we have a few drivers up there. One of them, shout out to Ashton Abdul, good friend of mine, Young G. I like him a lot. He's a JQ racing driver, and he's a good kid, and he's really fast. So this is his home track in Omaha. But this is also Seth freaking Van Dalen's home track. And if you like Seth freaking Van Dalen, you'll learn more about Seth this week on the No Name RC podcast. This is an indoor track. It held the ENATs 2 years ago. It's run. It seems like a very good place. It's run. They race. This is a 1-day race. It's another. You can practice on Friday, race all day on Saturday. They had 104 participants, 186 entries spread over 6 classes. Now, this was the whole Techno show. I would say this. Techno RC, Seth Van Dalen. It's very difficult to beat Seth Van Dalen at this track. This is like his home track. He does actually have a home track at his home. But this is his second home track. So Jared Tebow made the journey up there, the wily veteran of Techno RC, to race the new up-and-comer Seth Van Dalen. The last time they were at this race, Seth Van Dalen beat Jared Tebow, and this kind of caught everybody's eye. Well, nothing changed this time. Nitro Buggy, Seth Van Dalen first, Jared Tebow second, and Jared Wiggins of Techno RC third. So was all Techno top 3. Congratulations to Techno. On to E-Buggy. Looks like Jared Tebow came in first. Mason Fuller and Caden Fuller, brothers, young kids that are racing. First, Tebow first, Fuller, Mason second, and Caden third. And shout out to Austin, who came in a very, Shout out to Ashton Abdul, who came in a very close 4th. Ashton, good work. Rounding out Truggy is Zach Van Dalen, which I believe is Seth Van Dalen's brother. Conrad Beast, and Sean Van Dalen, who I believe, Sean is Seth and Zach's dad. So the Van Dalen family out racing in 4s. Seth freaking Van Dalen, he beats Tebow again. So good stuff to Seth. You're definitely making a name for yourself. People know who you are even more after DNC, and they're going to know more about you after your interview on the NNRC Podcast. Another big race or medium-sized race that was held this weekend was the Tennessee State Championships, held at the ROCCK track. Now, this is a track, I believe it's at a zoo. It's only open during the winter because during the summer it has people. It's indoor, but it's an open arena, so the sides are open, so it looks like ventilation's pretty good. Adam Johnson and Paul Ciccarello of X-Ray made the trip down to race this race, and they it was another decent-sized turnout. 97 participants, 177 entries, spread over 13 classes. Adam Johnson, Paul Ciccarello, and Brad Collins would top off the Pro Nitro Buggy results. E-Buggy was Adam Johnson, Paul C., and Jonah Wilson. Adam Johnson is a fast former Serpent racer from Ohio, I believe it is, and he doesn't travel too much out of his region, but he does good when he does. Of course, we know Cheeky, hard-working man in the industry. I like Cheeky a lot. Him and Dagani have their 40-plus battles, and I think it's pretty cool. So, the other big race taking place, or notable race taking place this weekend, was held at the iconic Mills Pond Raceway in Fort Lauderdale. This track has been around since the 90s. I probably wouldn't even say the 80s, in the same position. It's held many big races. It's run by Alfredo Morales. He puts in a lot of work there. I've been there a few times. Great facility, awesome surface, just typical red clay, Florida type dirt that you expect at one of these races. So we had the dirt, which is Joey Christensen and Miguelo, I believe that's how you say his name, of Buggyland fame in Spain. They came together last year and did the Buggy Mania race or Buggyland race at Thunder Alley. Or they decided to do one this year as well on the East Coast at Mills Pond. So Joey and Miguel came in to build a track at Mills Pond, and it was a typical Joey flowing with, if you've seen a lot of Joey tracks, you kind of know how they are. And he had his iconic and standard jumps on the front straightaway. It looked like a really great track. For me, I wasn't there, but didn't look too hard. It had some nice different obstacles, and I was pretty impressed. Alfredo went all out on the surface, as I know he does, because he always does, and he spent a lot of time prepping that surface, and they had all the infield painted green, and it looked really nice and presentable, so kudos to the track crew. Now, the point of the Buggyland race is, I believe they have different games and different, they have different types of races, I think, like dual races, where one person has the trigger, one person has the steering wheel, stuff like that. The object is to make this fun. This race had 75 participants, 143 entries. Typical, it was all 8 scale. And the big name making his way down here was HB's Cole Ogden. He does spend a lot of time at this track. The Pro Nitro Buggy race, he was leading this race, and then I believe he had a receiver failure according to his Facebook post, so he actually ended up finishing 6th. He was massively leading this race, by the way. But to finish first, you must first I always mess it up. To finish first, you must first finish. So that's how racing goes. But congratulations to Julian Oliveras, Team Associated, Team JConcepts. He would take the win, followed up by Jackson Brunson of Associated and JConcepts, and Kyle Phillips running the HB. That's a pretty good young top 3 right there. Congratulations to those guys in Pro Nitro Buggy. And in E-Buggy, you would have Jackson Brunson, Cole Ogden, and Justin Fales of Serpent. And in Truggy, you would have Justin Fales, Michael DeLay, and Paul Holness. So, a good event, not as big as maybe some of the dirt events that Joe is used to, but it was a great event for the people in Florida, it looks like, and just reading Facebook posts, it looks like everybody had fun. It was a different, same format, but different activities within the race, and Buggyland is known for that. So Miguelo came over from Spain. Safe travels to Miguelo going back to Spain. They're on lockdown too as well. And the other decent race was the championship series at Thornhill. I believe it had 75 participants, and I don't know how many entries spread over some classes. So there was lots of racing going on in the USA this weekend, which is good to see. It seems healthy. Nothing, 75 people at a race. That's pretty good, in my opinion. I would like it to be better. We would all like it to be better, but I think it was pretty good. So there was racing going on. I don't know what's going to happen after this, but it seems like everybody was trying to get as much racing as they can this weekend. But I hope things don't slow down too much, but I don't know if with the way things are going, the way Europe is, I can only assume that what's going to happen in Europe is going to happen in America. I don't know. I'm not a politician or a doctor. So that's all I have to say on this No Name RC podcast vlog. Please bear with me. I'm not very comfortable in front of the camera. I'm learning as I go by on this whole video thing. If you guys have anything you think you would like to hear or like to talk for me to talk about on this, shoot me a message, man. If it's some race results that I've missed, show me. If it's something that piques your interest in news and you want to talk about it, just shoot me a message. I'm always open to suggestions. I appreciate the support. Tune into the No Name RC podcast this weekend. I don't know if Rupert, a.k.a. Joey, a.k.a. he's got so many nicknames now. JQ is going to join me. He's frantically trying to get home. He might make it home on Tuesday, so it might just be myself and the guests. I know Wally Builds, Nick Watlett is going to join me tonight on the No Name RC podcast hotline, brought to you by Techno RC. So get your questions ready to ask to Nick Watlett. Thank you, Wally Builds. Check him out on Instagram and Facebook. And hey, like and share this vlog. And maybe, I hope this is the start of some good things and some good video. Now that I'm getting to video, maybe I'll learn how to do some stuff and surprise people. When I first started the podcast, I had no idea what I'm doing. I'm still learning as I go on the podcast, and this is a new adventure. So thank you for tuning in. Remember, Nitro is the glory. Buggy pays the bills. If you ain't grinding, you're sliding. And everybody, be safe. Don't panic. Be smart. Remember, and wash your hands. Wash your hands, people. Please wash your hands. Thank you.